Hey you guys, welcome back. In this episode of Project 996, we've got to get all of that onto this so that in 48 hours time we can drop it off to get its paint job done. Let's go check it out. So I usually really enjoy doing brakes on a 996, 997 or what have you. This job was a little frustrating because we hadn't put the caliper hardware back on properly. It got a little bit jumbled in the box, so we had to redo one or two calipers. But everything went back on fine eventually. It took us a little longer than expected, but it came out great. And then putting on the decals, these were about $5 from a store in England. I thought they looked really, really sharp. They went on without a lot of effort, and they looked really clean. And then once we got all of the calipers on, we just decided to put one wheel on just to see how it looked because, quite frankly, we couldn't wait until the end of the job. And this job was taking such a long time, we kind of felt like we needed a little victory. So getting to look at the wheels on like this, they look really, really sharp. So you guys, welcome back. It is a hot one today in Minnesota. There's a heat warning advisory, which means it is going to be unbearable in this garage in a couple of hours. But that can't stop us because we've got to get this car ready for Monday. Steve and Pat are on their way over. We have got brake lines to install. We have got calipers to put back on, and then the brake pads, and then we've got the wheels to put back on. We have got the mufflers to install. We've got all of the bolts on the transmission to torque to spec and make sure that the car's ready for us to turn over. Pat has got to finish the last 3 coils. I don't know why Pat has to do it. We can all do it, but yeah, Pat can do that. He started so he can finish. We've got to put those 3 coils in. That should be enough to get the car ready to go to the shop on Monday. Tomorrow I'm going to pick up a trailer from our friend Ben, who carts his 911 around the country when he goes tracking. So we're going to use that to actually take the car to the garage because we don't want to have to put the bumper back on and so on. So we'll be transporting that back, in the back of an SUV or whatever. But it is game on. The guys will be here any minute, so we're just going to get to it. I'm going to hopefully try and capture some of this stuff as a DIY from job to job, especially the brake calipers, but we got to get it going. So there's only so much time we got available today to get it done. Let's get to it.
All right, hey guys, we're putting the mufflers, we're getting ready to put the Pfister mufflers back on. Pfister did a phenomenal job of making these mufflers, of getting these things powder coated and doing their mod to it. Couldn't ask for more. So now Pat's got the brackets back on, but one problem that we ran into is when we took these brackets off, there's a sleeve that goes through here, that's this right here. The bolt is actually welded onto the inside from rust and just years of schmutz. So we pounded that out and we called Porsche to see if they had replacements. They don't. You have to replace this whole bracket for a big chunk of money. So what we did, went up to our local hardware store. We bought some tension pins in 1/2 inch that were the perfect length for this, and then we got some new bolts, and now we're ready to rock and roll. So it was a nice cheap easy fix.
$12.
Yep, 12 bucks. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these mufflers in and hang them, and then we're gonna go ahead and get everything connected up, and then mufflers will be in.
So I've had to bench myself. I am just not feeling very well. It's way too hot in the garage. I've got to get air conditioning in there. Steve and Pat are carrying on like troopers. We're getting to the muffler install, but oh my God, thank God for air conditioning. I would happily give up every creature comfort on this planet apart from air conditioning. And if I had to give up air conditioning, I'm pretty sure I'd move to the Antarctic. I'd give everything up and just move to the Antarctic. It would be awesome. a guess. What size is it, Steve? Have a guess.
15 millimeter. Check this out.
Let's see. Oracle, Steve.
Oh, no, 16.
Oh!
It's certainly not English. Is that tight?
That's tight, yeah.
Straight?
Enough.
So we got our power bleeder here. What I did is I just put the cap on the reservoir for the, so I took the cap and the filter off of the reservoir, set those off to the side. You want to keep those from getting dirty. Now I put the cap for the pressure bleeder, the power bleeder, on the reservoir. And then all I did is I haven't added any fluid to this. I just pumped it up to about 11.5 pounds of pressure. And I'm gonna leave that sit for about 10 minutes to make sure that we don't have any major leaks going on and that it's holding pressure. And then what I'll do is I'll release the pressure by just unscrewing the top. I'll fill this up with our dot floor fluid. And first off, we're gonna do the slave cylinder on the transmission, which will make for a stiff clutch pedal, a good clutch pedal. And then we'll do the brakes. So the brakes will start from the farthest one from the car, which will be the passenger side rear. Then we'll do driver's side rear, passenger side front, driver's side front.
So the bleeding job got off to a good start. Steve started to bleed the slave cylinder, and that went really well. It went off without a hitch. That wasn't a problem at all. What we found there, Steve?
One of the connections was not tightened for the caliper.
When we got to the brake calipers, we discovered that the brake lines on one or two of the calipers just weren't quite on tight enough, and there was a little bit of leaking. But then that was the whole point of the job that we were doing at the beginning, just putting pressure on them to see if there were any leaks and if they were airtight. So we fixed those relatively quickly, and then we got on with bleeding the brakes. Guys, this might be the moment of truth. We have bled the transmission, the slave cylinder. We've got oil in it. So in theory now we can start the car. Steve gets the honor. Make the magic happen, Steve. Is it gonna start? If you haven't been watching the videos, we bought this 2002 911 about 6 weeks ago with a broken transmission. The bell housing was cracked. We've had to replace the transmission, replace the slave cylinder. It's all tightened up.
Yeah, you ready?
Oh! Moment of truth.
All right, checking everything. Check the digital level. Oil level measured right in the middle.
Please work. Please work. It works! It's alive! Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to sound like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good sound.
FD Motorsports, Darren Pfister. That was a Pfister exhaust cold starter. I mean, really cold starter.
Yeah, coldest start ever.
Coldest start ever. Winner! Arr! Let's do that again.
Do you want to just go up to the top and turn around and bring it back? You got to come back, Pat.
So that's just about it for another video here with Auto Amateur and the Project 996 crew. As you can see here, the car made it onto the trailer at long last. This was a really tough but rewarding couple of days here with Steve and Pat. And you can see here Ben in the blue shirt helping us get the car onto the trailer. We managed to do so much in the past couple of weeks. We've replaced the brakes and the calipers and the wheels, and we've restored one of the headlights, and we've done an oil change and a brake fluid change and the clutch, and installing the amazing mufflers from FD Motorsports. I mean, on and on. And the car started after being off the road for a good 6 months or more. With the transmission that was cracked, we took off, we replaced. I mean, we're just really happy to be at this stage. There's going to be more that we need to do when we get it back from its paint job. It's going to be in the paint place, being prepped for about a week. It may take another week to get painted and get it back. So we'll have 2 weeks to plan our next couple of jobs, but we want to do a few updates to the interior. We need to check the suspension. We've got a couple of control arms to mount, a few things like that. So check back soon. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel for more videos. We're going to be making some videos while the car's into paint because I'd really love to see that process myself and share that with you all. Hit me up with your comments below. Check out my Instagram. Check out autoamateur.com, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.